Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is just refresh our memory on how do we label the sides of a right triangle. One side has a special name. Do you guys remember what is one of the sides of a right triangle?
Is it the hypotenuse?
You're very good. It's the hypotenuse. And which side is the hypotenuse?
The one across from the right angle.
Very good. It's always the longest side, and it is the one across from the 90-degree angle. Good. If you look at the top of the sheet, it says we're going to put H on all of the sides that we know are the hypotenuse in these different triangles. So the side across from your 90-degree angle is your hypotenuse. Then there's two other sides. One is called the opposite and one is called the adjacent. So if I look at number 1, which of these sides, so the angled one, the vertical one, or the horizontal one, is my hypotenuse?
The angled one?
The angled one. Awesome. So I'm going to put an H on this side length. When you guys think of the word opposite, I want you guys to think about it's on the opposite side of the triangle. It's all the way across from the angle that we're working with. In your triangle, it has to give you this little angle symbol. So you know, what's your perspective? What angle are you looking from? So I'm looking from this side. This is like my eyeball over here. If I put like eyelashes on it, I'm looking over here. It's my eyeball. What side is all the way across from my eyeball? The bottom or the vertical one or the horizontal one?
The vertical.
Very good. This is all the way on the opposite side of my triangle. Okay, so opposite is all the way across. My third side is the adjacent. And when you guys think about adjacent, I want you guys to think about the word attached. So A could be adjacent or think about it attached. It needs to be attached to my angle. So obviously by default, it has to be my bottom one, but how would I know it's my bottom side length there? Can you guys see that it's attached to my angle where my eyeball is? So my hypotenuse and my adjacent will always make up the angle that I'm working from or looking, that's the perspective I'm looking from. Hypotenuse is the longest across from the 90-degree angle. Opposite is going to be all the way across from the angle that I'm looking at or that my perspective is from. Adjacent is attached to my angle. Any questions on O, A, and H? Okay, look at number 2. This is my eyeball down here. Put some eyelashes on it. Where's my hypotenuse?
Right across from the right angle.
Good. This one over here. Which one is my opposite? All the way across on the opposite side of the triangle from my eyeball. The vertical or the horizontal?
The horizontal.
My
Oh,
eyeball's
sorry. The vertical.
Good. Sometimes we forget what the words mean. Vertical and horizontal. I get it. And then this by default is my attached or my adjacent because it makes up the angle that I'm looking from. Okay. It's easiest for me if I do number 7 and 8 with you guys first because I took a screenshot of the top of the page. So let's look at number 7 for a second. Here is my eyeball. Where is my hypotenuse?
Right across.
Okay, so that's diagonal one.
Yeah.
Where is my opposite side length from my eyeball? The top or the right?
Top.
Good. It's all the way across. So by default, this is my adjacent or my attached, and it is attached to my angle. Okay, let's look at number 8. Here's my eyeball right here. Where's my hypotenuse? This is a weird one. Left, top, or right? Which one's my hypotenuse?
Left.
Good. This is a really weird one, but here's my 90-degree angle. So that's my hypotenuse. Okay, which is my opposite? The top or the right down here? Top or bottom?
Bottom.
Good, that's my opposite. So by default, this is my adjacent or attached, and it is attached to my angle. Any questions on O, A, and H? Okay, I want you guys to take, let's maybe say 5 minutes. I want you to finish the rest of them on this page, and then we're gonna take it up. We cannot move along with SOH CAH TOA unless we're confident labeling our sides opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse. So I want you guys to finish this page, and we're gonna take it up in 5 minutes. So I guess there's 10 total, or is it, how many are on that page, guys? No, 12. 12. Okay. I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes. Try to finish the remaining 8. Just label O, A, and H. Unmute yourself if you have a question. Okay, let me show you guys the answer to those triangles then. So we did 1, 2, 7, and 8. Here is 3, 4, 9, and 10. So please check what you did compared to what you can see on my screen. Any questions on 3, 4, 9, or 10?
Can you leave it for like 5 more seconds?
Yep. Lauren, just tell me when I can scroll down to the last few.
You can scroll, but I have a question.
Yep.
Adjacent like connects, it's like the one that has both the right angle and the other one on it, right?
Yeah, that's a really great way of looking at it. Yeah. So the adjacent, Lauren's asking, the adjacent will always have the angle and the 90 on both ends of the adjacent. That's correct.
So like how else would you do it?
Well, the other way, so the way I think about it is adjacent means attached. So it's going to be attached to the angle that I'm looking from. So this one's my hypotenuse, so this one has to be my adjacent. Or if I was looking at this angle, this is my hypotenuse, so this has to be my adjacent.
Okay.
But the way you just described it will always work too, Lauren.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so here's your last few. Let me just erase that. All right, so here is 5, 6, 11, and 12. And I find 11 can be, and 12 can be a little tricky because of how they oriented it. Any questions on 5, 6, 11, or 12? Okay, so the hypotenuse will be across from the 90-degree angle. It's always the longest side in a right triangle. The adjacent is also, you can think about it like attached. It's attached to the angle that you're working with or the angle you're looking from. It will always have the 90-degree angle and the other angle, the little angle symbol. That's the line that connects the 90 with the angle symbol. And then the opposite side is the one all the way across from the angle that you're working with. It will not be attached to it or touching it in any way. Any questions about that? Okay, I will post this too, so you guys will have this for your future reference as well. But the reason why we need to be able to identify our sides is if you guys look at the trigonometry ratios, or sometimes we just call it SOH CAH TOA, the sine function involves the opposite and the hypotenuse. So only the O and the H sides. That's the sine function. Cosine is the relationship between the adjacent and the hypotenuse, so only A and H. And tangent only involves the opposite and the adjacent, so O and A. So depending on what side you're working with or what side you're looking for, you need to be able to pick the right sine, cosine, or tangent function. So basically, mathematicians realize that there is a proportion in a right triangle between these different sides, and you can calculate for any missing side or any missing angle using these given proportions. Now, I've given to you them like this formulas, but I actually have realized that more recently, it's much easier to think about them like a formula triangle. So I've given you guys these formula triangles. The way a formula triangle works is you cover up the thing you're solving for, and the remaining two parts of the triangle will help you guys figure out whether you're multiplying or dividing or how to solve for what you're trying to find. So sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. Keep these formula triangles close by or be able to flip back and forth, because I'm going to show you guys how to use them while we're working for missing side lengths and missing angle calculations. Okay, you don't have to have this memorized. I will actually give this to you on your evaluation. So you just need to know how to use them. It says here on the top that you multiply anything that's side by side. So if I was looking for O, if I covered up the O in sine, if I covered this up, if these two are side by side, then that means multiplication. So I would multiply sine times my hypotenuse. If I was looking for, say, the hypotenuse, if they're top and bottom, then that means divide. I would divide O by sine. So top and bottom is division. It's right here in the instructions. Side by side is multiply. I will show you guys how to use that. Keep this handy, please. Okay, so we're going to move on to this here. Just to make sure we're good for using our calculators, I want you guys to put sine of 25 in your calculator and tell me what you get.
0.42261.
Fantastic. So I'll just do, for the sake of this sheet, 4 decimal places. So 0.4226. My pen has died here. Sorry, give me a second. Try cosine of 53 next.
.6018, and it keeps going.
Good. Yep, and you guys will realize like it can be extremely accurate. So I'll show you guys how to make sure that we're giving our end answer in a very accurate way. So 0.6018. How about tangent of 34?
0.6745.
Very good.
How long do you want us to go on for? Like,
just 4 decimal places is fine. I'll show you guys. I actually don't want you to round to the very end, but I'm going to show you that in just 1 minute. So just hold on to that question. Okay. Yeah. How about sine of 22? Anyone got that?
0.3746.
Very good. Skip over to number 12. What's the tangent of 89? It's
57.289.
Yeah.
57.2899.
Very good. This is a weird one, so I wanted to grab this one for a minute so we could look at it. 2899 goes on and on. Okay, I'm going to use this one as my example to try to show you guys how mathematicians came up with the proportions in a right triangle. Guys, if I have a 90-degree angle or a right angle, so this one is 90 degrees, and one of my other angles is 89 degrees. How many degrees are in a triangle? How many degrees total? If I add all three up, what will they equal?
Isn't it like 180?
Exactly. So if this angle is 90 and this one is 89, how big is this one up here at the top?
1 degree.
1 degree. Okay, so if I look at this 89-degree angle down here, tangent is the ratio that involves my opposite and my adjacent. Does it make sense that my opposite side length would be 57 times the length of this down here if this was an 89-degree angle? Does it make sense my opposite would be way longer than my adjacent?
No.
Brandon, what makes you think that it wouldn't be longer on the opposite side? My diagram is really bad here. What makes you think it wouldn't be longer?
Actually, I'm not even sure.
It's part of it's my drawing. Okay, I can't even do this properly. So if this is I can't even draw a 1 degree angle. That's probably the hard part. This is, if I'm looking at this angle down here, my opposite is this vertical one. It's going to be way longer than this little teeny adjacent one, if I could actually make that an 89 degree angle. So it's trying to show you the proportion between the side lengths. So if you have a really big angle, you'll see that the proportions are a really interesting combination, just due to that really big angle. All right, so knowing how to use your formula and knowing how to label the sides is the foundation for knowing how to use SOH CAH TOA. So if you guys look at question number 1, the first thing I want you guys to do is just label O, A, and H. Then we're going to figure out what sides are we working with and what trig ratio should we use. Should we use sine, cosine, or tangent based on the information given? So look at number 1. Where's my hypotenuse?
16.
Very good. Lauren, where's the opposite or the adjacent? You can do it in either order. Where's O and A?
B is O and A is the one, yeah.
Very good. Okay, so this is my eyeball down here. Okay, I'm looking from this angle. My hypotenuse is the one across from the 90, always my longest side, so that's my hypotenuse. A is the one that's attached to my eyeball, the angle that I'm working with. O is all the way across on the opposite side of my triangle, so way over here. Next, what I want you guys to do is erase the side that has nothing on it. Which side am I going to erase? It has nothing on it.
B.
Well, that actually has a variable on it.
Oh, just
A.
kidding.
Be A.
The adjacent. Lauren, I'm going to show you why you want to keep this one, because this question is actually asking me to solve for B. So the variable is telling me that I need to solve for that side length. The 16 tells me I absolutely have to use the hypotenuse because I know that side length, and then I know my 35 degree angle. Look
But
at your,
how do you know, how do
sorry.
you, like you said, like which one has nothing on it, but isn't that like 35 and 90? Like
Oh, sorry. Those are your angles though, Lauren. So when you're looking at the sides themselves, it could be a variable or it can be a measurement.
Okay.
So the angle, so in a triangle, you're going to have angles, and those are usually written inside of the triangle. And then you're going to have sides, which are written out on the outsides of the triangle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Which sine function or formula involves O and H?
So.
Good. The first one, the yellow one. What side am I solving for? Am I looking for my O or my H in question number 1? Which one has the variable on it?
H.
O.
Oh,
I just heard both. Which one has my variable on it? Which one am I solving for?
O.
Oh, good. So when I go back to my formula triangle, just going to show you guys how to use this. My pen keeps dying. Sorry, guys. Go back to my formula triangle. You're going to cover up what you're looking for. It says cover the letter for the unknown value. So I'm going to cover up O. When I solve for O, what I'm going to do is take the sine of my angle and multiply it to my hypotenuse. So it's going to be O equals sine of my angle times my hypotenuse. Side by side is multiplication. Any questions on how I just did that with my formula triangle? Okay, so I'm going to write down O equals sine of my angle times my hypotenuse. I'm going to put my work for number 1 down here, guys, because my pen is too big for writing in that little box. Okay, so O equals sine of my angle times my hypotenuse. On triangle number 1, my opposite is given by the letter B. That's my variable. How big is the angle that I'm working with?
35 degrees.
35 degrees. So I'm going to write sine of 35 degrees. And how long is my hypotenuse?
16
Very good.
centimeters.
Good, 16 centimeters. On your calculator, all you have to do is sine of 35 times 16 and hit equals. If your calculator opens brackets, make sure you close them. How big is side B? And let's just do 2 decimal places.
9.17. I mean 18.
Very good. Because it was 177, so Lauren rounded to 18. I'm just going to add the centimeters back on. 9.18 is this side length. Number 2, this is my eyeball down here at the 67-degree angle. Okay. There we go.
Wait, I have a question about the one we just did.
Yes, Brianna.
So I thought we were solving for B. So the
Oh,
9.1.
I wrote it on the wrong side. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. You were paying attention. You're just, I did that to see if you were paying attention, Brianna. Good job. Okay. Take a look at number 2. I'm looking at the 67-degree angle here. So let's label O, A, and H first. Who wants to label O, A, and H for number 2?
H is where the 15 is. Oh wait, sorry, number 2.
Yep, number
Sorry,
2.
doing number
That's okay.
8. H would be where the C is,
Very good.
and then O would be where the 8 is,
Very good.
and then the A would be where the other one isn't.
Very good. So which one are we going to ignore? Which side has nothing written on it?
C.
A. Oh no.
Okay. Yeah. So the variable C we have to keep because that's what we're solving for. So the variable and the measurement we're going to keep. The A down here, that side length has nothing on it. I don't know it, and they don't ask me to solve for the adjacent, so I'm going to ignore the A.
Like you mean nothing on the outside?
Yes.
Right?
Very good.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, go back to your formula triangles. Which one, sine, cosine, or tangent, involves O and H?
Sine. So
Good, sine again. Now, am I solving for my opposite or my hypotenuse? In number 2.
Hypotenuse.
Very good. So I'm going to cover up the H. Top and bottom means division. So when I'm solving for my hypotenuse, I'm going to have O in the top and sine of my angle in the bottom. Any questions on how I just got that formula? I covered up the H. These 2 remaining variables, if they are vertical, you divide. Top and bottom means divide. So I have H equals O divided by sine of my angle for number 2. H is equal to O divided by sine of my angle. How big was my opposite side length? Oh, I'm going to put C instead of H because that's my variable.
8 meters.
Very good. So I'm going to put 8 in the top because that was my opposite side length. And how big was the angle that I was looking from or working with?
67.
Very good. So on your calculator, just do 8 divided by sine of 67. And you probably will have to close any brackets that open.
8.69.
Fantastic. 8.69. Lauren, was that meters or centimeters in this question?
Meters.
Okay. Now, if you guys look at number 1 versus number 2, both of them were the sine function. How come we multiplied in number 1, but we divided in number 2?
Because of the way the triangle is set up.
Perfect, Brianna. Because when I was looking for the opposite side and I covered up the top of my formula triangle, I was left with the bottom two. They're side by side. It's multiplication. But in the second question, I was actually looking for my hypotenuse. So I was looking for the bottom side, bottom variable. So top and bottom meant division. So just be really careful with your formula triangles and deciding, am I multiplying or dividing? It depends on what side you're looking for. In sine, if I'm looking for the opposite side, I cover up the top. Then I'm going to be left with division. Oh, sorry, multiplication, side by side multiplication. If I'm looking for the, I don't know what just happened. If I'm looking for the hypotenuse, I cover up the hypotenuse down here. The O and the sine are going to be division because they're top and bottom. They're above each other. So just be very careful with your formula triangles. Okay, let's take a look at, let's skip over to number 7, just because of how my screenshot worked here. Look at number 7. This is my eyeball, or the angle I'm looking for, the 60 degree down here. Where is O, A, and H in that triangle? Where's O, A, and H in this triangle?
J is O. I mean, J is H. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, no. J, H is 8. H
Good,
is,
good, good. So Brianna, where's O and A?
that would make A would be the one that has the right angle and the
Good.
so right there, yeah.
Good.
And then O is there by default.
Okay. Which, this is another sine one. We're going to erase the A, and this is O and H again. Let's skip number 7. I don't want to do sine again. Look at 8 is a good one. Sorry, Brand, you did all that work. We'll be solving all of the ones on the page later on, but let's look at number 8. Let's try to not do sine. Brianna, can you do O, A, and H on this one?
Yeah, so A would be where the K is.
Good.
The 15 would be, oh wait, no. Oh my gosh, I keep confusing myself. Okay, the O would be where you are right now.
Yep.
And the H would be the 15.
Very good. Okay, which of these 3 am I going to erase? Which one does not have a variable or a number on?
Oh,
Very good. Oh, so which formula triangle involves A and H?
CAH.
Good. So this middle one, the pink one. And am I looking for A or am I looking for H in question number 8?
Well, don't we have both of those already?
Well, which one has the variable on it, Lauren?
Oh, H.
On number 8, which one has the variable? Which one has the variable I'm solving for on it? A or H?
A.
Good, A. So I'm going to go back to my triangle here.
But
I'm
then
solving.
we
Okay.
erase O.
I don't need O because it didn't have a variable or it didn't have a letter or a number on it. It was just a blank side.
So then now what are we solving for? Aren't we solving for that right now?
We're solving for A because it has the variable K on it.
Okay.
So if I'm solving for A, what am I going to do with cosine and H? What's this formula going to look like?
Are you adding?
Well, it's either
Multiplying.
Good,
Sorry.
good. No, good. Multiply cosine times hypotenuse. So cosine of my angle times hypotenuse. Okay. So let me do my work right down here. Number 8. We said the formula is going to be cosine of my angle times hypotenuse. So Lauren, see how A has K on it?
Yeah.
That's the side I'm solving for. That's like my variable. It's like X in algebra.
Okay.
I think on this worksheet, they just kind of went through the alphabet and picked random letters for each of these different triangles. But the one with the letter on it is what you're solving for.
Okay.
How big is the angle that I'm working with?
79.
79, good. And how big is my hypotenuse?
15.
Very good. So I'm going to, on my calculator, do cosine of 79 times 15. Cosine 79 times 15. And tell me what you're getting.
2.86.
2.86, perfect. And Lauren, it's millimeters, I can see it. Millimeters. 2.86 millimeters. Any questions on that one? Okay, guys, look at number 9 for me here. I know we're hopping around a little bit, but look at number 9. Who can label O, A, and H for me for this triangle? This is my eyeball.
I can do it.
Thank you, Makai.
So the H would be the one across from the right angle. Yeah, right there.
Good.
The O would be the M,
Good.
and the other one would be the A.
Very good. Laura, not to pick on you. I just want to make sure we have this fully under control. Which of those 3 letters does not have a variable or a number on that side length?
H. So you
Very
were-
good.
And then you're solving for O, right?
Perfect. Perfect. Which sign formula involves O and A? Which sign formula has O and A, guys?
One that starts with T.
Good. It looks like tan because your calculator had to abbreviate it to 3 letters. The full word is tangent. But yes, it's tan. And Lauren, you already said we're solving for O. So if I cover up O at the top, what am I going to do with tan of my angle and A? Is it going to be division or multiplication?
Multiplication.
Very good, because they're side by side. So tan of my angle times A. Tan of my angle times A. So going back here to number 9. Sorry, I got to do my work way down here, guys, but I'll scroll up to the triangle here in a second. Okay, so this is number 9. We said O is tan of my angle times A. How big is my angle measurement? How big is my angle measurement, number 9?
33.
33. And how big is my adjacent side length?
25.
Very good. So I'm going to plug in tan of 33 times 25. I forgot what variable I was working with. M. So on your calculator, tan of 33 times 25. How big is M? Did anyone get that? Oh, guys, stay with me. Stay with me. I'm losing ya. I got 16.23.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And I rounded up because of the 5 after the 3. So I rounded to 2.4, and that was centimeters. Okay, good. I actually want to do one more that's division. I know I lied to you guys here. I said one more, but
Is at P.
The H is P, good.
The O is across from the 48, sorry.
Very good, very good.
I think
Yeah.
that one there.
Good. Okay, so which side are we going to ignore, Makai?
Oh,
Very good. So what trig ratio is A and H?
Ka.
Good. Good, cosine. And we're solving for the A or the H in number 11.
H.
H. So what am I going to do with A and cosine?
Divide.
Very good. A divided by cosine of my angle. So H equals A divided by cosine of my angle. So let me get back to number 11 here. So H is A divided by cosine of my angle. How big is A?
48 divided by cosine of 10.
Oh, so the angle has to go with cosine, Lauren?
Oh, just kidding. 10 divided by cosine of 48.
Awesome. Okay, 10 divided by cosine 48. Let's compare 10 divided by cosine of 48. What are we getting?
14.94.
Very good. And what was my units on this one, Lauren?
Kilometers.
Kilometers, that's crazy. Kilometers, true. Okay. Okay. So